Hello friend, it's Bill. Hope you're having a great week. Glad you can join me as we work through Ryan Holiday's book, Ego is the Enemy. Today we're looking at the chapter titled To Be or To Do. And Ryan is such a great storyteller. This chapter doesn't disappoint as he tells the story about one of our nation's great fighter pilots, a man by the name of John Boyd. And a lot of people have never heard of him, but flew during the Korean War, and even more than his ability to fly was his theories on maneuver warfare. Served for many, many years in the Pentagon, taught many of our nation's great Air Force pilots, served for 30 years and never even advanced beyond the rank of colonel, even though he had a massive influence on the way we do warfare in our modern day. And the cool thing about the chapter is that, as you see from the story, he was more interested in making a difference than he was making a name for himself. And it was in fact his integrity that kept him from moving beyond the rank of colonel, because he couldn't be bought. He couldn't be manipulated. In fact, the cool thing at the end of the story is where, after his death, they found in one of his dresser drawers a drawer full of thousands of dollars of uncashed checks from contractors, attempting that he just kind of assumed that those were attempts to manipulate him and get him to do certain things that these contractors would want him to do, and he simply wouldn't be bought. But he had a massive impact on many up-and-coming pilots who themselves, they had aspirations, they had strong egos, they had a ton of talent. It's why they were where they were. And he would always have this conversation with these guys when he could tell that they were going to go one way or the other and their ego might get the best of them. And he would say something like this. I'm going to read from the chapter. He would say to these guys, one day you're going to come to a fork in the road. You're going to have to make a decision about which direction you want to go. And he would use his hands to illustrate, and he'd point in one direction, and he would say, if you go that way, you can be somebody. You'll have to make compromises, and you'll have to turn your back on your friends, but you will be a member of the club, and you will get promoted, and you will get good assignments. Or, and he would pause for effect, and he would point the other direction. Or he said, you can go that way, and you can do something. Something for your country and for your Air Force and for yourself. If you decide you want to do something, you may not get promoted, and you may not get the good assignments, and you certainly will not be a favorite of your superiors. But you won't have to compromise yourself. You will be true to your friends and to yourself. And your work might make a difference. To be somebody or to do something. In life, there's often a roll call. That's when you will have to make a decision. And then every time he would give this speech to these pilots, he would conclude with this statement. To be or to do, which way will you go? I think that is an incredible, poignant question, and what a great way to frame it. Are you on this life? You here in this life to be somebody or to really do something, to have a real impact with your life? I mean, that's a really important question that every one of us has to answer. I deal with the temptation to want to be somebody, and I run into people all the time who are obsessed with being somebody, having a certain degree, having a certain number of letters behind their name, having a certain type of position or title within an organization, making sure you have access to certain people within the organization, being able to rub shoulders with the right people, being a part of the right club, and having that status, and that ego stroke. We're all tempted by that, to be somebody. Do you want to be somebody? Or do you really want to do something and make a difference with your life? I love the point in the chapter where he would give this talk and then he would write some words on a chalkboard, which I've written down. He would, on the one side, write these words: duty, honor, country. That's all about doing something, living a legacy life, living a life of significance. And then he would write these other words: pride, power, and greed. Pride, power, and greed. To be somebody. Man, we live in a world filled with pride, power, and greed. Look at the fruits in our world of people who want to be something and the misery that it causes. I don't know about you, but as tempted as I am at times to want to be somebody, I really want to do something with my life that enriches and adds value to the lives of other people. Don't you? When I think about this principle, there's one person that comes to my mind. And it's my good friend who works in my business. His name's Paul McCosco. Paul has his hands on everything that this company produces. Every presentation I give, every email that goes out, everything I write, he makes better. Every video that you watch, he produces. Silently, quietly, faithfully working behind the scenes, doing outstanding, excellent, professional level work, day in and day out. He just wants to serve. He just wants to help me win. He's constantly going above and beyond what I ask him to do, surprising me, continually adding value to my life. And frankly, when I think about my business, I would not even be anywhere close to what God has allowed me to be able to accomplish without Paul's faithful service and his incredible gifts behind the scenes that he uses every day, from writing to designing, to thinking, to strategizing, to executing, to following up on projects, to sending emails out to people. The list just goes on. Most people don't know Paul. He just kind of stays behind the scenes. But what an incredible person. One of my best friends, a phenomenal dad, a phenomenal husband, a phenomenal friend, and truly one of the most genuinely great people I have ever had the privilege of knowing in my life. And I am so blessed to have him in my business. And it's such a wonderful privilege just to kind of shine a little light on him, because he never seeks that for himself. And what a difference he has made in this world on so many levels. If you know Paul, you understand what I'm talking about. That's doing something with your life. That's making a difference with your life. That's living a legacy life. So it's really a pretty cool thing to think about for ourselves, because we're all challenged with that. And I'll just leave you with that today. You know, this question, does what I want to do help me do what I have set out to do in my life? Does it help me fulfill my purpose? Or am I just kind of doing something for my own particular selfish gain? To be or to do, that's really the question. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks again for watching today's video. And before you go to the bottom of the screen, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you go to billcoxcoaching.com. Sign up for our regular newsletter to help you move from success to significance and lead your life in such a way that you live a legacy. Have a great day.